Now, for talking about the small intestine, they have the three uh, three different regions in them. Fine. The first part is known as the duodenum. The first part of the small intestine is known as the duodenum. The second part is known as the jejunum. So duodenum, jejunum, and the third one is the ileum. So these are the three different parts of the small intestine: duodenum, jejunum, and the ileum. Duodenum is basically the first part of small intestine, and it is it is curved and it is C-shaped structure. So it is the first part. It is curved and as well as it is C-shaped structure. Talking about the jejunum, it is comparatively longer and more coiled. So if we talk about duodenum and jejunum will be more coiled in nature and it is longer than that. And the last part is the ileum, and ileum is a part which contains the finger-like projection. So what are the finger-like projection called as?
Villi.
What is
Villi.
very good.
Villi.
So they have the finger-like projection called as villi or villi. Very, very important. This is very, very important. This villi is very, very important. Every year, like they ask the question from this to tell where they are present. They are present in the ileum part of the small intestine and to write the function of it. So the main function of the villi is to increase the surface area of, so increase the surface area for the absorption of food. So if this villi are present, then what happens? The more amount of food they can absorb. So two things are there. Like if we have the straight surface and then at the same time we have a surface like this. Okay. Two kind of things we have. Either we have the straight surface, either we have the curved surface like this. Now what happened? The first surface here, the absorption will not be much. On the surface, only the straight way they can absorb. So there is no other way to absorb the food. So only directly here they can absorb the food. Whereas when we talk about this villi, as you can see, finger-like projections are there. So here also they can absorb, here they can absorb, here in between they can absorb, here in between they can absorb. So what happened? So which is better? The first picture is better, the second one with the villi are better.
Second one.
Second one, right? So second one is better for the absorption of the food. So with that, more food can be absorbed. And that is why the villi are very, very important to absorb the more food. So more food they will be absorbing, the more nutrients basically they will be getting out of it. So these are very important villis. So to increase the surface or area for the absorption of food, they are important. Now after this, they have the next part called as the large intestine. So large intestine also has the three parts. And when we compare small intestine and large intestine, this large intestine is much shorter as compared to the small intestine. So it is much shorter, but it is wider than the small intestine. Fine. So that is why it is known as large intestine. So the reason why it is called as large intestine, not because of the length of it, but because of the wideness of it. So compared to the small intestine, they are more wider in nature. It also has three regions. So it also has three regions. The first one is known as the cecum. The second one is known as the colon, and the third one is known as the rectum. So cecum, colon, and the rectum, these are the three regions which are present in the, which are the part of the large intestine. This cecum, basically, they are the small round sac. What they are? They are the small round sac from which from which vermiform appendix arise. What do you mean by vermiform? Vermiform appendix. Have you ever heard this word? Yes, Ayunija, Shubhan, Shabina, Priti. Have you
No,
ever
ma'am.
heard this vermiform appendix?
No, ma'am.
Anyone? Anyone? No one of you, Meher is saying no. Daria, have you ever heard this word, vermiform appendix?
Ma'am, is it appendix?
Yes, it is appendix only, the normal appendix. And turn on the video, Daria, Shubhanshu, Shayad, Shubhansh, Dhriti. Video should not get off. Daria, turn on the video. So a
Ma'am,
vermiform appendix is basically a normal appendix only. Now what happens is when the cecum part, it increases in size. So during that time, that muscle or that organ starts creating the problem in the body, in the person's body. Now, initially, if that space, this much space is there, right? So, no problem. They are getting this much space, they're living happily, they don't create the problem. But what happens? Sometimes the cells of this cecum, they start multiplying. And because of that, they have to increase in the size. And once they increase in the size, they start disturbing the other organs, nearby organ and all. So that is what happens in the vermiform appendix. So it starts creating troubling, and because of which the severe pain, that person who has appendix will be getting the problem. And in that case, what they have to do, they have to undergo for the surgery, and this is the only solution they can go with. So if they take the medicine, no impact will be there, only for that shorter duration it can go. But for if they want the immediate solution, then they have to undergo the surgery. So with the help of surgery only, they can remove that extra part of that cecum, and then only the person will be relaxed from the appendix part of it. Fine. So it is basically the increase of the cecum part of the cell.
how much time does it take to
How
recover?
much?
Time does it take to recover?
It's like, see, if a person has to recover completely, like he has to move, so 1 month rest should be their bed rest. If not, then at least 10 to 15 days are required to recover completely. Because after this, the body of that person gets very, 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 very weak. So it is required. Because my mother has actually undergone the surgery. So I have seen her, the pain, like the severe pain she used to have during this appendix kind of thing. So ultimately, we do not have the any option, because see, it's not like only in the daytime. In the nighttime, anytime she started like shouting, yelling, and all because of the severe pain and all. So we thought like once and all we have to be free of all these things, and then it will be okay. And it happened like after the surgery, she was completely okay with that appendix part of thing. So what do they do? They cut that part, and then the person is like in the relaxed mode. So that is what actually in the cecum it happens. It creates a vermiform appendix. Now the next part is the colon. Colon is basically the inverted U-shaped tube. So it is an inverted U-shaped tube, and it will be helping to pass the undigested food. So whatever the undigested food will be there, through this it will be passed. And the last one again, a very important part, which is the rectum. Rectum basically stores the undigested food. So whatever the food which is not digested, they will be storing it, and then whenever it is needed, they will be removing it out through the anus. So that is what happened, right? In the morning time, like our this rectum gets stored with the excreta. So once it gets completely full with the excreta, that time we feel like that we have to go and we have to remove that, or we have to release it out through the anus. So, so rectum is basically for temporary storage of the human excreta, and when it is needed, it will be thrown out of the body through the anus. Clear, children? So these are the part of the large intestine: cecum, colon, and the rectum. Yes, Shayan, Shulamshu, Aaron, Abhinav, Devya,
Yes, ma'am.
Shubhansh. I can
Yes.
hear only Abhinav. Others, Meher.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with this, one question is there: why the uh, small intestine? Sorry. Why the small intestine of uh 1 minute children? Why the small intestine of a herbivore is longer as compared to the carnivores and omnivores.
Man, because
Yeah, because
protein doesn't take much time and like much process to digest, while cellulose takes.
correct, Abhinav. But in a proper way, we should answer that. So what happens basically, if I talk about the herbivores like the goat and all, what do they eat? They eat the grass, right? When they eat the grass, that grass contains the cellulose, and cellulose is very tough to digest. Okay, and that's the reason they will be. You might have seen them. They will be chewing, then they will be eating, they will be giving to the stomach, then again bringing it back to the mouth, then again chewing, and then giving to stomach. Like this, it keeps on going, right? Chewing, chewing, giving, giving, chewing, giving, chewing, giving. It keeps on happening, and since it is very tough actually to digest it. But then later on, then what happen is at the next moment when we talk about us, are we eating that grass? Are we eating the grass? Is there anyone who is eating the grass here?
No,
Those who are not answering, they are eating grass only, I guess. No, Siddhi is saying no. Good. Okay, Abhinav is saying no. Shayan?
No, ma'am.
No. Mayor is saying no. Dara is saying no. Okay, fine. So
No.
what happens? We are not eating. Okay, Aryan. So we are not eating the grass, right? So since we are not eating the grass, we don't require the very long intestine. First, the short one is also okay because we are not eating the cellulose. But those animals who are eating the cellulose, they have to digest it properly again and again, and that's the reason they have the longer intestine rather than the shorter one. So this question comes. How that comes? Either they ask you directly like why the herbivores have the longer small intestine as compared to the other animals. If not, they give you the example. They give you the example like they will be giving you one is like the goat, and the second one is like the lion. They will be giving you, or maybe they give you the humans also. So if the name of the animal they are giving you, you have to identify that it is herbivore, it is carnivore, or omnivore. And depending on that, you should write the answer. And answer will be same. That the herbivores or that particular animal is has to digest the cellulose. That is the reason they have the longer small intestine, and the other one they do not require to digest it. That is why they have the shorter small intestine. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Now moving to the next one is the nutrition in amoeba. So we are done with the nutrition in humans. So ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and the egestion. We are done with all these five. Now the next one is the nutrition in amoeba. So these amoeba, where we can find them? Is there any particular place we can see them?
Ma'am, they are mostly found in water.
Very good. They are mostly found in the water. So what happens? Like if you take a drop of the pond water or any other type of water, if you take them, keep it under the microscope and see that. So what you will be able to see that something is moving in that single drop of water. So those are basically the amoeba. There, yeah. Does the amoeba have a particular shape or they keep on changing the shape?
Ma'am, it keeps changing the shape.
What do they have? They have for the locomotion. How do they move?
Ma'am, they use their uh, I don't remember the name.
Starts with P.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shan, what do they use to move? Shubhansh, what do they use to move amoeba?
pseudopodia.
Pseudopodia, right, Driti, Abhinav. So pseudopodia they will be using. Meher, turn on the video. Shayan, Shudamshu, and Shubhansh, turn on the video. Video should not be off.
My
Now,
camera is not working.
okay, Meher. So they do not have actually a fixed shape, and they use a pseudopodia. What happens is like as they are moving, suppose they are moving like this, slowly and gradually they are moving. So the way they are moving, if they get something in between, a small particle, like small kind of, the plant they get or the small organism they get, what do they do? Like these are the pseudopodia, for example. They start engulfing them. What do you mean by engulf? Engulf. Engulf means surround. Yeah, cover. To cover or to surround. So with the help of the pseudopodia, they will start slowly where the food will be, inside the body of amoeba or the outside the body of amoeba. Inside, right? So it was before outside, but later on when the amoeba, they have engulfed the food, it has come inside the body of amoeba. So this is what the ingestion is. Engulfing the food or surrounding the food with the help of pseudopodia. Now, once the ingestion has been done, the second step will be, what will be the second step? Yes, there. After ingestion, what is the second step?
Digestion, ma'am.
How many cells do amoeba have?
One.
One, only one cell, right? So what do? They have the food vacuole. So through the food vacuole, they will be taking that food inside. They will be digesting them with the help of the digestive juices. And that is how they will be using it for digestion. And after digestion, what is the third step? They will be doing it? Absorption. So whatever the useful nutrients are there from that food, they will be using it for their own development and all. And then it goes for the next step, which is assimilation. And whatever the nutrients they have absorbed, they will be giving to the whole other parts of the amoeba for the growth and development. And last, the remaining part, whatever is remaining waste material with them, they will be throwing out. Do they have the anus? Does the amoeba have the anus? No, right? They do not have the anus. What do? They will be using the same food vacuole. Through that, they will be removing it out with the help of pseudopodia. Right? So all the 5 steps are same as like it happens in us. The only thing is with the help of the pseudopodia, with the help of food vacuole, they do it everything. Whereas in us, we have the different separate parts of the organs in our body. Clear? So now we'll be writing about the nutrition amoeba. Very, very important. I think almost every year they ask about it. Either the diagram, and with the help of diagram, we should explain also. So we should start writing about this. So whatever children I'm writing, just copy it down. Okay? Write the heading nutrition in amoeba. So amoeba, they do not have any specialized organ for nutrition. So amoeba does not have any specialized organ for nutrition. So what do they have? They have just the pseudopodia. So the entire process, 1 minute children. Sorry. The entire process is the entire process is carried through the body surface. 1 minute children. So through the body surface. So what do they do? Directly from the body surface, they will be taking the thing inside and they will be releasing the things outside with the help of pseudopodia with the help of pseudopodia. And this is called as the whole process of nutrition in amoeba is called as the phagocytosis. Very, very important term it is. For 1 mark, it is important. So you should know that nutrition in amoeba, it occurs through a process called phagocytosis. Very important this word is. The whole process is called as phagocytosis. Done, children, here?
Yes.
Now after this,
Once
what
can
is
you go back?
yeah.
Ma'am, you can move.
Yeah. So the phagocytosis is the process by which the food is engulfed by the organism. Engulfed means it will be surrounded. So write it there somewhere. Engulfed means surrounded by the organism. So it is a process. Phagocytosis is a process in which the food will be surrounded by the organism. And this mode of nutrition is called as holozoic nutrition. So in the humans, as well as in the amoeba, they use the holozoic nutrition. So holozoic nutrition means the intake of the solid food particles. So holozoic nutrition is the mode of nutrition in amoeba, is the mode of nutrition in amoeba. The different steps are the first one, ingestion. The first step is what? The ingestion. In the ingestion, it is the process of taking in the food into the body. So it's the process of taking in the food into the body, either by swallowing or by absorbing. So either they can swallow it, or either they can absorb it. Either by swallowing or either by absorbing it. So that is what the ingestion is. Once it is done, just let me know so that I can write the next one. So in the second one, amoeba pushes out the pseudopodia to encircle the food. So they will be bringing out, they will be moving out the pseudopodia and then they start engulfing the food and form the food vacuole. So an engulfs it forming a food vacuole. A small vacuole they will be forming called as a food vacuole. So that is what happens in the ingestion. Whereas in the second one, the digestion, the food vacuoles are transported deeper into the cell and with the help of digestive enzymes, the large particles will break down into the small particles. So large particles are broken down into simple molecule. Clear, children? So this is what the digestion is. So the larger molecules will be broken down into simple molecules with the help of the digesting enzyme or digestive enzyme. Shall we go for the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Now in the third one, which is the absorption, in this case, the nutrients from the digested food material are absorbed into the cell. So whatever the useful nutrients are there, they will be absorbed into the cell's cytoplasm by leaving behind the undigested particles. So whatever the useful are there, they will be digesting it, they will be absorbing it, and at the same time, they will be leaving behind the undigested particles. So those particles which are not digested, they will leave them. After this, it goes for the next step, which is the assimilation. So it is a process of obtaining energy. So process of obtaining energy from the absorbed food molecule. So whatever the food or the nutrients they have absorbed from that, they will be getting the energy. So that is what the assimilation is. And with the help of this absorbed food, what do? They will be carrying out the different life process. For carrying out life processes, they will be using this energy. So with the help of same energy, they will be respiring, they will be breathing, they will be doing the physical activity. So everything will be done with the help of this assimilation process. And last, in the last, through the digestion process, it is a process of removal of undigested food material. Undigested food material. And how they will be doing? With the help of the cell membrane. So with the cell membrane will get rupture, and because of the rupturing of the cell membrane, all the undigested food will be thrown out of the body. And this is also called as the diffusion process. So diffusion means from direct contact, right? When the organism in direct contact with the environment, then what do? Directly through the environment, they will be taking inside, and directly to the environment, they will be releasing. So amoeba, whatever the undigested food will be there, through the cell membrane, they will just release directly into the environment. That is what the egestion is. Done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
So 5 steps are
Yes,
there:
ma'am.
ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation. And basically, the whole process in amoeba is known as the phagocytosis. They do not have any other organ, special organ, but they have the pseudopodia, which will be helping them to engulf the food through the process of phagocytosis. Ingestion, where the taking of food will be done through the swallowing or through absorbing it. Then after this, it goes for the digestion, wherein the larger molecules will be broken down into the smaller molecules, so that easily it can be used for the absorption process. In the absorption, the nutrients, whatever are present, they will be using it, and the remaining undigested food they will be leaving behind. In the next process of assimilation, they will be obtaining the energy through the absorbed food, and ultimately, in the last one, in the digestion process, they will be throwing out the waste material through the cell membrane or through the food vacuole. Also, they remove it out into the membrane. Clear, children? All the videos are off. Turn on the video. So, any doubt, Aryan, Abhinav, Shubhansh, Ayodhya, Ritik,
No,
Meher, Siddhi,
No,
Dhairya,
no,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Siddharth, any doubt?
No, ma'am.
So this is what happens actually in the nutrition amoeba. Now, this is the whole thing about the nutrition in humans as well as in the amoeba. Apart from that, there is nothing remaining in the nutrition. So plants we are done. We are done with the animals. Now, the next topic will be starting in the next class will be about the respiration. So nutrition done. Now the second topic will be the respiration, and respiration is all about the lungs, the different parts which are involved for breathing and to break down the food. And just tell me, children, is the breathing and respiration both are same or are they different?
Different.
They
Different.
are different. Aryan,
Dif-
how they are different?
Respiration, breathing is like inhaling and exhaling, whereas
Correct.
respiration is like breaking down, ma'am, of glucose. It is a complex process.
Very, very good, Aryan. Correct. So breathing, though we say respire, we usually say we respire. So when we say respire, it does not mean that we breathe. Respiration is different and the breathing is different. Breathing is a kind of physical activity, like wherein the only the exchange of the gases are there. We are taking the oxygen and we are releasing the carbon dioxide. That is what the breathing is. Whereas when we talk about the respiration, it involves the enzyme to work on. Now, what the enzyme will be doing there for the respiration process?
but
What they
it
will
will
be
be
doing?
down the mixture of gases into simpler forms for our body to use.
Correct. So either they will be breaking down the glucose into some other component or the oxygen or maybe some other thing for the usage of our body. And then they will make the reaction fast in our body. So whatever the reactions are occurring in our body, they will be making it fast. Right? If the enzymes are not there, then reaction will not occur at a much rate. And if the reaction will take much time, then what happens? The respiration will be taking much time. Then we have to wait to get the energy, right? So then and there, what is happening in our body, whatever we are eating, it is breaking down, and then the glucose is breaking down. We are getting the energy immediately, right? So it is very, very important that then and there the usage of this energy should be there. Or you might have heard from your parents, like, especially in the summertime, that you should take Glucon D. Or when you go for, race kind of things and all the sports event, then you should take the Glucon D. Why they ask you to take Glucon D? Why can't they ask you to eat some other pizza burgers and all? Huh? Why
It
only
provides
Glucon
electrolytes
D?
and
It
energy.
provides
Like
energy.
electrolytes and stuff.
Electrolytes, yes, same work, electrolytes and the also the Glucon D. It provides energy, but actually the Glucon D provides immediate energy or instant energy. Very, very important question. This is again, children. That the why the sportsmen they are given the Glucon D after the race or during the race time, they are provided the Glucon D. Why so? The answer is very simple, that glucose gives us the instant energy, or they gives the sports person instant energy. That's the reason that they will be given with the glucon D. And that's the reason your parents are also giving. Though they are not much aware, right? Every parents are not much aware. But they might have heard it somewhere, right? They might have heard it maybe from their parents or maybe from the television or maybe from the books also. They might have heard it. It gives the instant energy. So that is what we are drinking the glucon D to get the immediate result. We should not wait. Because if we are eating something else, it will take time, right? To break down, to work the enzymes and all. But with the help of this, immediate reaction will be there. That's the reason the glucon D is being given. Yes, Aryan?
Ma'am, tomorrow I'm having an exam, ma'am. So I had a question, ma'am, from this nutrition.
Tell me.
Ma'am, could you explain, ma'am, that how do the plants take up carbon dioxide at night, ma'am, once? And not.
What do they do? Aryan, they will be storing because in the night time there is no sunlight, right? So what do? They will be just taking all the amount of carbon dioxide and then they are just keeping it. They are not doing any kind of process. They are just keeping it and they are waiting for the next day to come actually. And as soon as the next day, when the light is coming, during that time they are using that carbon dioxide. Fine, like it's like your mother and the father they are giving you some money, right? And you are storing it in a piggy bank. And once those piggy banks are full, what are you doing? You're using it. You're getting something for yourself. Same way, the plants they are storing that CO2 in the night time, and the next moment when they are getting the sun radiations and all, they are using to make the food.
Ma'am, so appropriate
And
answer would
they
be
release the oxygen. Actually, in the night time, they release that gas also, carbon dioxide gas also. So that is why you might have heard like some people will be saying don't sleep under the tree during the night time because what do? They start releasing that gas.
okay.
So and Dhriti, we are remaining with so many topics, so it will be taking much time because this chapter is actually a very lengthy one, and once the chapter is over, it means half of the book is over. Other chapters are not so big; it's like less only. So respiration is there completely. Then you have the transportation, and then you have the excretion. So very big chapter this is. The other chapter, heredity chapter, or maybe the how the organisms they are very small. And this is the most scoring chapter also. Fine, children. So we'll meet you next week then. And complete your test, subjective test this week on time on Saturday, children. Last time also you did not do that. So make sure to complete the test on Saturday itself and then submit it. And you have to share the PDF with me also personally on the WhatsApp. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
ma'am.
children. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye-bye.